We're live, folks, as we build up to kick-off. It is Blackburn Rovers, it is West Brom, it's at Ewood, and it's live, that's right. Of course, before we get into all of that, big shout out to my new sponsors for this segment of the show and others. Blue Rose Capital coming in there, respect for them. And despite the graphic, we will flip that around. Hopefully for the watch-along, it's the other way around. It's Rovers hosting West Brom, but the most important team is in front there. It is Blackburn Rovers, of course. Joining me is Jacob Ward. We'll get to him in a second. Of course, big shout out to the VIPs, the patrons, of course, and a big shout out to you guys joining me here for today's game. We will have the watch along in about an hour, different stream, of course, and we will have the team news scrolling down the bottom, and we'll talk about the team news when it's revealed in about 9 minutes. But that gives us plenty of time to talk to this chap. Lock up your ladies. Here he is in his bathrobe. It is Jacob Ward. He's going to the game. He'll have feet on the ground at Ewood Park, but he's going to scrub himself up in a minute. But Jacob, looking forward to this game. It's probably our despite maybe even you would consider the Swansea game before the result as our first real test, but this probably is definitely our first real test at home against a strong Steve Bruce West Brom. What are your thoughts edging closer to the kickoff today?
Yeah, I think, like you said, I think this is definitely the biggest test we've had. I think Swansea away, like you mentioned, was definitely a test, but this is a team that have definitely been tipped by most people to finish top 6. It's a team that, have ridiculous names in abundance, really, like Swift, the guy they got from Millwall, Wallace, Grant up front, and then there's even ones who probably won't even be on the pitch, who will be on the bench, who they've got waiting at the wings, who'd probably walk into our team, to be honest. So, no, it's a massive test today. Obviously, they give us a good game last year at Ewood, and I felt like we were probably a little bit hard done by to leave with a 2-1 loss. I think we give him a good showing, so I don't know. Hopefully a draw today. I think anyone would take that right now.
I would definitely take that. Yeah, I just read, I think yesterday or today, that Alex Mowat has gone to Middlesbrough on loan, which is a bizarre move, and a player that I would have loved to see at Ewood Park last season again. It's just a surprise that he's been made surplus, I guess, at West Brom. So he's, that's a strange, good move for Middlesbrough, good move for Mowat, but strange old one. You're also there at Ewood on midweek to see the Hartlepool drubbing for the Young Guns. How was that performance for those who didn't get to go to the game?
Very convincing. Probably one of the most one-sided games I've ever watched, if not the most one-sided, to be honest. In truth, Hartlepool didn't even have an attack really until like the 60th, 70th. It was just men against boys, but we put the boys out really. But it was embarrassing, to be honest. I don't think they were up for it at all. And obviously, we put a team out full of hunger and players who were fighting for their place, really. We've got a point to prove to JDT, so just walked all over them, and they registered 2 shots on target, but in truth, I couldn't even remember what the second one was. The only one I can remember is literally the last kick of the game, where Pears pulls off a brilliant save at the end of the game with nothing to do all game, really, so fair play to him. But no, it was a brilliant performance, and I'm looking forward to Bradford. I may have to do that one.
Yeah, the Bradford away is again a mini Rovers reunion. Any of I know a lot of the established or recognisable names got on the score sheet, but did anybody stand out for you, like of the young guns that maybe could consider themselves possibilities for JDT further into the season? Adam Wharton played, Phillips I think played as well from the get-go, but did anybody, and again some interesting substitutions, did anybody caught your eye as a fan watching from the sidelines?
I think out of the team we put out, I think the player who has the best chance of breaking in would be Edu. I think obviously he had that goal line clearance that kept us in the game really against Swansea at 2-0. That goes in, it's a totally different game. And he put in a really good performance again against Hartlepool. Pre-season, I've only heard good things about Edum. And I know Pickering's, he's not been too bad, to be fair, but he hasn't been too convincing to me at times. So I think Edum would be the one out of the lot who could be knocking on the door. The rest of them, I still think they probably need to maybe prove themselves a little bit. I mean, even looking at Dak, I can't see him really breaking in anytime soon over a Smodic. But, against Bradford, it's another good test away on the road. And if any of them really have a standout performance, I think JDT will be the type of head coach to give him a chance and give him the praise they deserve. If Dak goes and gets a hat trick, I think he's got to go in the team for the next game, you would have thought.
Yeah. Well, they are coming thick and fast, double match week. In fact, 3 games now in the next 7 days or something. So I do anticipate some rotation. So you did kind of maybe steal my thunder. Of course, we are edging closer to the reveal of the team news. There is grumblings that Wharton might not be playing today, which would mean only one fit senior centre-back and the most injury-prone of centre-backs left at the disposal of Blackburn Rovers. So with that in mind, you were there at Hartlepool. You saw Pickering coming in at centre-back to replace Wharton. How concerned are you with that situation at the back today?
It is quite concerning, isn't it? But at the same time, obviously, it seems like if by all accounts we're very close to getting Van der Berg over the line, just like we had the mumblings of Morton, and obviously that come to fruition. So you would hope that is the case, and it'll be done before the next game. But I mean, even then, we've only got Wharton, Ayala and Van der Berg, who would be senior centre-backs. I know you can chuck Ash Phillips in there, but is he ready to be playing Championship football? I think that remains to be seen. Obviously, Carter's going to be back in a month or two's time. So I guess then at that point you would feel comfortable with our options, but you've also got to take into account, obviously, Ayala could pick up an injury at any point. So it does beg the question whether we maybe need another centre-back on top of Van der Berg, considering Barnes is out for the season now. Carter's obviously injured. So it does kind of show already the frailties of the squad being so thin, doesn't it? What is quite worrying. And I wouldn't really want to see Pickering at centre-back in truth.
Yeah, that, especially against the opposition that I know they've got their own striker issues right now, West Brom. I'm not too sure who's going to lead the line, but they've got goal scorers all over the place. Before the team news is revealed in about 60, maybe 90 seconds time, who is the name you don't want to see in the starting 11 today?
To be honest, Eric, I don't think there's any names like that anymore. I don't get the heebie-jeebies about many players at Rovers now. I used to have those heebie-jeebies over the last season. If it was Bradley Johnson, for example, he was very inconsistent at times, and he could chuck in a 4 out of 10. So I'd kind of get the heebie-jeebies over him. And then before that, there'd be the likes of Corey Evans or whatnot, but. No, I mean, as long as there's not pairs between the sticks, I think I'll be quite happy whoever's in there, really. yeah, that's the clanger we don't want to see. Even though he did, I think we kept a clean sheet midweek, even though nothing. He probably could have been out there in the sun lounger, to be honest with you, from what I gather. So also in action today are the under-21s. They'll be actually kicking off in about 60 seconds time, and we already know that Markanday is not involved in the senior team. We know Joe Rankin-Costello is not involved in the senior team. I'm taking a look at any other ones. I don't see Vale in that lineup either, so he must be at least considered for this thing. So we're into the final 60 seconds before the reveal. Who concerns you the most from that West Brom side? I know we talked about, glossed over it a little bit with Swift and Wallace, but my understanding is that, of course, Daryl DK is not available, out for a little bit, and Grant might be out as well. So it might be a young gun leading the line, or Callum Robinson. Of course, we know him from his Preston days. But who would you be the most worried about? I think I'd definitely say Wallace, but I mean, I do remember Robinson scoring against us at Dumpdale, so I don't have great memories of him, unfortunately. But it's not quite worked out for him at West Brom, has it? But I was very surprised that you mentioned Mowatt's gone to Middlesbrough. That took me by surprise. Scored an absolute banger against us at Ewood in first minute last season, didn't he? So, yep. I mean, quite surprised with that.
So I've got the team news. It's coming in now. It's coming in a video. So we've got Kaminsky between the sticks. We have Callum Britton coming at you at right back. We've got Pickering's in there. We have Daniel Ayala, and he'll be joined by the young gun assassin, Ashley Phillips. Sam Smodic starts, of course, continues, makes his home debut. Gallagher leading the line, it looks like. Hedges, of course, 3 assists to his name. I expect Buckley's in there. I'm sure I'm going to put in the blanks here. I'm just guessing Travis is in there as well. And Ben Brereton Diaz will be up there. So no major surprises, just the Ash Phillips one. Do you think that's the right call? Give him the young gun, 17 years of age, right? I think he is 17 years of age. On the bench, of course, just before we get handed over to you, Morton, Adun, Dolan, Dak, Vale, Wharton. So some good young guns in there. But yeah, Ashley Phillips throwing to the Lions today. Again, are you happy with that?
Yeah.
Are you nervous?
It's sink or swim for him, really, isn't it? I mean, obviously he's got all the hype in the world from the Rovers fans. Obviously, Spurs interest and whatnot. People begging him to sign contracts. If he puts in a really good showing today, you can only think that Spurs or whoever are going to up their interest if he can do a good job at Championship level at the age of 17. But I may have mentioned before, if he plays today, it's very much Phil Jones against Chelsea, and obviously he did well and went on to sign for Man United for 20 million. So I guess we'll have to see. But I think it's the right call. Pickering obviously come on the other night for Wharton, who went off injured at half-time, it would seem. So I feel like you could have maybe put Pickering at centre-back and put Edun at left-back. But I would much rather have a natural centre-back there, in truth, than Pickering, who's half Ashley Phillips' size. And hopefully Ayala can guide him through the game. There's not many centre backs at this level with as much experience who probably can guide Ashley Phillips through this game. You would think, really. So it's not a bad centre back partner to have, is it?
No. He's started off well, Ayala, and again, if we can navigate this game, hopefully Vandenberg comes in for Wednesday for Reading. And then I guess Ayala will have to raise his game and squeeze a couple of games out of him. And hopefully Wharton will be back competing. And what I read about that Vandenberg thing is what's concerned a lot of Championship clubs is that there's going to be some sort of game clause that he has to play so many games. So that'll be frustrating for the likes of Wharton. But, when you think about Ayala, who I don't know, we've got to understand that he will probably not play every game when fit. I think even you've got to manage him, because I think he's an elite defender at this level when playing, but too many games in the quick time we'll see him get injured. So yeah, it might frustrate some fans that the Vandenberg thing has a clause, but I think him and Wharton, I think if they can build up understanding as well as Ayala, I think we can rotate those. I think Wharton could be ever present if we can manage that. I think he's young enough, and maybe Ayala's the one that will have to whatever. Anyway, I'll give you the team news for West Brom. We got Button between the sticks. That I actually looked at this guy. Of course, Sam Johnson last season, good goalkeeper, went to Crystal Palace. Button has got more clubs than Tiger Woods, 17 clubs. He's been around the block. He's 30 odd years of age. He's played for some shit teams, like really dog shit teams. And that's, I think, an area of weakness for me for West Brom. I think we can capitalise on that. So when I look at that, I think, yeah, there's an opportunity there. But their backline is strong with Furlong, Ajayi, O'Shea, Townsend. You've got Livermore's captain Malumbi as well, I guess, in that Mowat role. Swift, Wallace, Dienganga, handful. Grant as well. And they do have on the bench, who did we say? Robinson's on there. Yakusalu. That's the guy. A lot of West Brom fans were if you look at the comments of the previews and all that kind of stuff, they were thinking he's going to play and he's going to dictate play in midfield. The fact he's on the bench gives me a little bit of optimism. It's just that defensive backline is going to be interesting to see. Does any of the what is your takeaway from that team?
No, I think, like you mentioned, Button obviously caught off his line the other night to that absolute screamer from Ismail Sarr. So, like you said, that could be a point of weakness, and hopefully, if it is, we can exploit it. Wallace obviously makes the team sheet. You said Robinson was on the bench, didn't you? So who's starting up front?
Grant gets the nod, so he's playing through the pain barrier, I guess. He's playing through the thing. Which again he scored, I think, in the midweek game against Sheffield United in the Cup. And he's a goal scorer. He's a goal.
He scored against Watford.
And Watford, so he's got a couple of goals to his name in all competitions. So, yeah, but how seriously? What is it? Is he? How much pain is he going to be playing through for that to make it through this game? But regardless, it is going to be a test for Phillips, for Ayala. But it is at Ewood. You're going to be there. You're going to be giving them hell from the sidelines, and hopefully you could continue that good luck charm that's been going off right now. What are we on now? 2 wins from 2. Is that what it is? 2 wins from 2.
2 league wins.
3 from 3, of course,
and
including the cup. Yeah. But
yeah.
I'm excited. And again, I'll tell you, did you give a prediction for this game yet? What's your prediction for this game?
I gave a 2-2 draw. It seems like West Brom should have really beaten Watford by a couple goals apparently, but it was their keeper that kept him in the game, Watford. So maybe they're a bit lacking clinically up front potentially, or it may have just been Watford's keeper just having an absolute blinder. But they haven't won a game yet, West Brom. I think it's 2 draws.
Yep.
So yeah, I've gone with a 2-2 draw. I trust in our defence, but I mean, I feel like if they take the chances, they're obviously gonna have a few, aren't they? And I feel like we can maybe do a bit of damage as well. I think they're gonna have a bit of the ball, so maybe we can do them on the counter. So yeah, I've gone with a 2-2 draw. It could easily be 1-1. I'm hoping it's not a 0-0, but it could quite easily be that as well.
I think I did go for a draw. I think I went for the 1-1 draw myself on this one. I would take a point right now if offered, especially with our concerns at the back. And yeah, West Brom are contenders. I'm not going to lie, they're going to be up there. As long as he gets given a bit of time, Stevie Bruce. I know he gets a lot of flack as a manager, but he's got all the tools really to do it, and I'm sure he's wise enough to get the best out of them. But yeah, Jacob's going to be there, and he would appreciate you coming in on board for the pre-game. Any final thoughts before you head on your travels, because you got to make it there in about 45 minutes, less than that really, to get down to Ewood. So any closing thoughts?
Yeah, just I'm hoping it's a good championship debut for Ash Phillips. Really big opportunity for him. I think, like you mentioned, Van der Berg, he comes in, he'll probably take that spot, and you would hope when Scotty Wharton's fit, he will play all the games. But like you mentioned, there's going to be a lot of rotation with Ayala, who probably can't do 2 games a week, like we talked about on Twitter. So if Ash Phillips does well today, there's absolutely no reason why he can't be afforded more chances at championship level going forwards. So it's a huge opportunity. I'm sure he's the type of player who's going to thrive on this pressure. And if he is this, world beater like we're led to believe, he should smash it today, shouldn't he? So hopefully he lives up to the hype, and hopefully it isn't like I remember Raya's first game and he had an absolute stinker and got absolutely crucified by the fans. But, obviously he's gone on to be a Prem keeper. So hopefully if he does have a bad game, the Rovers fans won't get on his back and, say, get him off to Spurs or whatever. But, yeah, hopefully it's a good one.
Yes, hopefully he is a good one indeed. Thanks again, Jacob, for joining me today on the pre-game show. Hopefully, good luck. If you manage to get the vlog, that'd be great. Of course, if you forget to press record, it's all right. But I appreciate it. And again, hope to get some final thoughts, final whistle thoughts with a reaction cam, and hopefully some other guys will join you in that one. But I appreciate it, and good luck out there. Bring your lucky pennies, your rabbit's foot, all that kind of stuff, and hopefully we can get another win and a point. I think a point gets us back top of the table over the likes of Sunderland, over the likes of Hull. So let's do that. Let's get back to where we belong. Anyway, appreciate it, Jacob. I'm going to let you go. I'm going to carry on with this. I'm going to showcase. I don't think the West Brom fans going to be here, but regardless, I'm going to show you the starting 11 for everybody, and we will have a look at that in all its glory. Just give me a minute while I find the graphic. It's not that one. That was last week. So against Swansea. Here we go. Where is it? Whoosh. There it is, of course. Let me shrink it down a little bit because Blue Rose Capital are there. This is the starting 11 then for you. Kaminsky, Britton, Ayala, of course, Phillips, Pickering, Travis is El Capitano, Buckley as well, Edges, Smodic gets the start, Brereton, Diaz, Gallagher. We do have, I'm going to have to make it bigger, that's what she said because I can't read. I'm an old man now. It is Pears, Adun, Morton, Wharton, Dack, Dolan and Vale. Some game changers on that bench. So let's hope, hopefully it doesn't come to that. Let's take a look at the opposition then in all its glory. And remember, this is just a pre-game stream. Make sure you come and check out the watch-along stream, which will be kicking off in about 20 odd minutes, 20, I don't know, what are we looking at? A quarter of the hour, wherever you are in the world. I'll get to the chat in a minute, guys. Appreciate you guys stopping by. This is the starting lineup for West Brom. It is Button, Furlong, Ajayi, O'Shea, Townsend, Livermore, Malumbi, Swift, Wallace, Grant, Dienganga. They have been the free transfer stealers. That's their new nickname. It's not West Bromwich Albion, it's the free transfer swipers, getting the best free transfers in the game right here on FIFA. It's them. They're bloody getting it. They've snapped up Swift, they snapped up Wallace, they snapped up Mauer, of course, freebie, and they think, you know what, he's shit. Let's get rid of him. They just offed him to bloody to Middlesbrough. A bit of bizarro world. Yakusalu, I think, wasn't he a free? Bloody hell, absolute business. Good bit of business. They must be throwing some money at them, though, I must imagine. So that is your starting 11. Let's take a look at the chat then. Sorry, I've been ignoring the chat with Jacob, of course, getting his thoughts and opinions. So Jurassic Rovers is there. Tune to Rovers, he thinks. Make sure you get your predictions in this or in the watch along when I'll be back in about 20-30 minutes time. Do you know why I start TV? I don't know, but you know what? Just come join me here. And of course, if there's any goals, I'll show you where to find them. Of course. Meanwhile, Ahmed Sochi said baggies. Yeah, not for me, brother. Not for me. Andrew Watton in the house, respect. Ben Hayward was here, respect to my Ben Hayward, of course, joining in. And Diaz. Yeah, that's what's in the chat. I appreciate you guys stopping by for the build-up. The build-up will continue on the, of course, the watch-along, which will be kicking off very, very soon. So, for me, what are my thoughts about this? Looking forward to the game. Should we get rid of the team news? Again, we will have extensive coverage of the watch-along and, of course, the game itself. We will have a review. We'll have an instant reaction. We'll get the fan cams, and hopefully Jacob can provide the vlog later on. So it's a non-stop coverage, and then we flip it back around again, and I believe, hopefully, tomorrow morning, we will have at least the Rovers preview for Reading. Goodness gracious me, the games do not stop. Thick and fast right here at Blackburn Rovers Seas, and hopefully we can get the same amount of coverage in a double match week. It's going to be crazy, but hopefully we can do it. Anyway, so yes, my thoughts about this game. I did go for a 1-1 draw. Rovers with that back line is interesting. We either sink or we either swim, just like Jacob said. Phillips is a young gun. There's a lot of expectation on the young kid's shoulders. And a game like this, again, if it was a game against QPR, no disrespect to QPR, because QPR have been fighting their socks off recently, and they were the last team that we played in the league at Ewood. I think I might have been a bit more optimistic for his chances against QPR, but West Brom, of course, are definitely contenders. The fact that Yakusalu doesn't start is maybe a blessing for Rovers. Malumbi, I'm not too sure about him. I don't know how he will, him and Livermore will be able to control that midfield against Buckley and Travis. I think it's going to be an interesting fight. But they do have him on the bench. And if shit is hitting the fan at half-time, they have game changers on the bench themselves. Adam Reach, of course, Yakusalu, Phillips, Robertson. There's 4 names. Barkley at the back there, who could be a major player in the bank. Hey, enjoy the match. I'm waiting for my club Bayern to play in a few hours. Well, good luck to you, Hans Worst, of course, or hopefully, I would like to see Bayern lose a couple of games, to be honest with you, to make that a little bit more interesting. Again, we have non-stop coverage. I just recorded, actually just dropped the Champions League, Europa Conference League videos. They are on the channel. I also recorded earlier today, very, very early, 5 o'clock in the morning, the League 1, League 2 and the Vanarama National Leagues for the midweek games. They will be live later on today in a busy, busy day of videos dropping on the channel. And again, we'll be recording the Championship prediction videos as well for Tuesdays, Wednesdays games. They'll be either probably tonight. So that'll be coming at you very soon indeed. Make sure you bang your subscribe, bang the thumbs up, bang the little bell. We'll be back in about 30 minutes, of course. I appreciate you guys stopping by for the preview, the pre-game show. And again, appreciate Jacob for stopping by. Again, if you are a Rovers fan, or in fact, if you are a fan of any of the other games, let me know, or other teams, let me know in the comments section if you want to be on the show as a guest for the pre-game, for watch-alongs itself. Let me know, of course. We are looking for consistent contributors. If you're you're a Rovers fan, want to get involved in video creation, or if you're just a football fan and want to get involved in video creation, let me know in the comments section, or better still, follow me on Twitter, DM me directly, and we can have a good old chit chat about it. But anyway, I'm looking forward to the game, even though it's probably going to be a bit of it could be a real test of our mettle, a test of our nerve. And a big shout out once again to the Blue Rose Capital for the sponsors of this video, and of course the reactions and the reviews, and of course previews as well. So they are fantastic. If you're in the area, check them out. But until then, I'm going to bounce out of here. To appreciate you. I'll be back 30 minutes. Set your timers. Until then, guys and girls. And that's not what I want. I want that. Until then, guys and gals, Orinos, I will be back, of course, for their watch along in about 30 minutes time. But until then, boys, recharge your glasses, go take a piss, take the dog out for a walk. You know what to do, and I'll be back soon. Until then, guys and gals, I'm out.